Hello and welcome to the This is Xbox Game of the Year Awards. For the category of Walking Simulator of the Year, the winner is Firewatch.
So Rich, you reviewed this for This is Xbox. What did you?
I did.
What made it such a good game?
So obviously there's a new... Is it a new breed of genre? I guess it probably is, isn't it? It's quite the year for walking sims. They're just, did you really like... Was it 3-4 Home? So
Yeah,
I think I'm probably right in sort of saying that these kind of games have just got a really strong narrative. There's nothing tricksy about the gameplay. There's nothing difficult almost about the gameplay. It's pure experience, which is obviously we're going to begin to see this new breed of game because of VR, which is obviously a very experiential experience rather than how good you are at games. And I've played a few walking sims, but Firewatch really stuck out for me because it's not one of those TV series that you watch, and you're always trying to assess what the fuck's going on, and it's got the potential to be weird and something supernatural, but you kind of make of it what you will as your experience goes along. But where some walking sims I felt very much served you the point of the game on a platter or gave you the conclusion on a platter, I very much felt that with Firewatch the conclusion was very much down to you as the viewer, as the player, whatever you want to call yourself, to kind of decide what the ending was and what it meant to you through the experience you had through the game. And I was just utterly enthralled by it. Just to really go back through and pick up on all the metaphors and everything and the kind of purposely put holes in the plot. It just absorbed me. I fell for the characters. I fell for the voice at the end of the radio. I just fell for the game, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was gorgeous looking as well. It was simple, but yeah, it just captured me almost straight away. Obviously, yeah, there's lots of the walking simulator games around now, and this was most enjoyable so far. But it's nice to take your time with a game sometimes. You know, it's not frantic. It's not just you and one other person for the majority of a game. And building that relationship was just quite special, I thought.
I think that was the main point of it as well. Some of these walking sims, the relationship you have is often what you read about the game in pickups, in notes and things like that. But with Firewatch, there was a relationship that was built. Again, you decide how far that relationship went. And there was some level of you deciding with your responses that, was that relationship purely professional? Was it a bit more than that? And I think it was that really did get me. That whole relationship was just, I just felt it was a beautiful relationship. It was kind of a sad story as well.
Yeah, definitely.
It is a tough one. I mean, again, it's another one of these games where your enjoyment of it comes of how you perceive the ending, because again, it was a really tough game to conclude. I mean, personally, I loved the conclusion. I loved the way that it wasn't for me anyway, it wasn't a cut, 100% concluding ending. Whereas some people felt disappointed by it. But I challenged them to sort of say, well, what ending would you have preferred? And for the ending you would preferred, there would have been plenty of people that would have gone, that was shit. So I kind of liked how ambiguous the ending was.
Let everybody make their own decision as to what actually happened, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of depended on what responses you used in the game with the when you're talking over the radio, how you responded and whether you picked up all the hidden caches and read everything, and just I guess it just depends how absorbed you became in that world, how did you believe the world that you were in? You know, and the characters that were there.
That's where walking sims come into their own. It gives you, maybe it doesn't quite give you the freedom of choice, but it gives you the illusion of the freedom of choice.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
there's a lot of it is, it feels like it's going to be your own unique story. But at the end of the day, it is quite scripted. It is
It's only
quite
ever going to
linear.
pan out. Yeah, it's only going to go the one way. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's the other thing as well is there's a moment in that game where something happens. Something quite, it's to do with the conclusion of the game, but oh my God, it got my adrenaline pumping. It was the excitement of the kind of the mystery of oh my God, this is really freaky. You know, kind of a bit like when they find the bunker in Lost, and it was like, oh my God, where's this going to go?
It's
I
something
know
you
Lost
wouldn't
died on
expect
its
from a
arse.
simulator.
No, I know Lost died on its arse and everything, but I just really like that about this game. Like I said, I just found some walking simulators to just not just necessarily try too hard, but they've mixed in a bit of puzzle solving, or they've served the story too well, so that there is no kind of ambiguity to it. It's just kind of like there's your ending. You know, you don't really make up your own mind. That is what happened. I mean, there's also a developer mode as well, which is pretty cool to play through. It almost needs it for all the kind of bits that you might have missed. Well, I say will have missed. There's a lot in there. I mean, there's other things as well that you could talk about. I mean, again, it's just how much you want to get into it. I mean, I collected a load of books and took them back to my Firewatch tower and stuff like that. And again, there was enough freedom that made it like what you just said. It gave you the illusion that you weren't playing a very on rails game, because that's essentially what walking sims are.
So it just gives you enough variation to let you think you're deviating from the path when you're not actually.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is a good one for Dave's point as well with his little ones. It's nice to have a game that is completable. You know, some of the best narrative in games are big action adventures, big RPGs. Everyone's got the time to pour 30 odd hours into a game to really see everything and do everything.
No.
So sometimes it's nice just to have a game that is, that you feel like you've really enjoyed a mysterious, in-depth story. Something that feels like you had an experience without having to pour a whole weekend into it, or ignore your family for a couple of days. A couple of weeks, especially with the likes of The Witcher and Skyrim, Final Fantasy, etc., etc.
Yeah.